So, are some black women that petty? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logic Reason. As always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, sadly, I'm pretty sure everybody know by now, Kevin Samuals passed away on May 5th. And I remember I've heard reports of this early throughout the day, and I didn't believe it because I thought it was just a bunch of haters. It was just fake news. However, toward the end of the day, it was more increasingly that it was true and that he had died and passed on, which is absolutely sad. Now, when our first reports I read, it said that he died of congestive heart failure. But what is appearing is that he actually died of a heart attack while having sex. Of course, they got some black dudes saying out there he went out like a G, but he didn't, create the red pill movement, but he definitely brought it to the highest heights that it could possibly be, that anyone has held. And he was the number one person in the red pill community out there. And how did he become number one? Well, he did it by telling people the honest truth. He told people the harsh, real, uncut, unsugar-coated truth. And not everyone can accept that. Black men, he first started talking to black men. And he was just as harsh for black men as he was for black women, as he was everyone. He basically talked the same to everyone. But black men accepted that truth and went on. And of course, they'll say that, anytime he attempted to have shows of black men, he would have to be shut down. But then he would also ask the men who disagree with him to call in. This wasn't a show with the men who agree with him, because most men out there would agree with him then. And when he told men the harsh truth, they just accepted it and took it. Unfortunately, black females, they can't do it. There's too many black females out here who would rather, as they say, accept the ugly truth. I mean, the pretty lie, than have the ugly truth. For me, give me the ugly truth. I would rather have the ugly truth. But if you look at some of the things that these black females are saying out here, it's just unbelievable. I mean, stuff that the white supremacists would not say against a black person. I wouldn't say some of this stuff against my worst enemies, And I'm no fan of, say, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Roland Martin. I'm no fan of these people, Malcolm Out Hill, but I wouldn't wish death upon them. And I damn sure wouldn't be celebrating their death. But you listen to some of the things that these women are saying, is just absolutely downright despicable. Some people say that, his heart was average at best. He got what he deserved, even though he didn't. There's nothing that he said that meant he should die. He died alone. That made him a woman, even though he was with a woman. That's just going to show you how they make these claims to jump to conclusions. And a man being alone and a woman being alone, two different things. Also, I saw someone write a text, all we need now is a sinkhole. Of course, referring to putting his body in the ground in a sinkhole and sinking it further. Absolutely despicable. But I have to say, the worst thing that I heard was, I was listening to a show, one of these shows, and a woman called in and literally said she hoped that he was burning in hell now. And what makes this worse, that woman and a lot of these other women were quoting the Bible. And like the very antithesis of what the Bible says, these women are Bible thumpers, but spews that type of hate, more hate than anybody. Questioning him on his tone. I love when they say that, his tone. Well, it doesn't matter what his tone. He told black women the truth, number one. Number two, if anybody needs to be checked on their tone, it should be black women, because black women with all that, that sassiness and the neck popping, nobody needs to have their tone regulated more than black females. But you want to tell somebody else about their tone? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And then some of these women Some of these same women that celebrating his death will be the same females marching and protesting about thugs, celebrating thugs. You know, these are the same females that'll be protesting and crying about George Floyd, you know, Ahmaud Arbery, Dante Wright, all criminals had a criminal past, and they celebrating these people. But yet you got a man that was trying to help them, and they basically celebrating his death. So you're celebrating the death of the man who's trying to help you. Same thing they did to Jesus. And then what's worse though, you have these black females and these cuck beta black men talking about how black women need to be protected. We need to protect our black women. Are you telling me that's what we're protecting? Do we have to protect that? You telling me if I'm on a Titanic and the ship going down, I have to give up my spot on a lifeboat for those black females? And again, I'm not talking about all black females, because probably most black females are not doing this. Even if they didn't like Kevin Samuels, you know, they're not out here celebrating his death. And of course, he had female followers. To all the Kevin Samuels haters out there, hate to break it to y'all, but his message will live on. His videos are out there. Plus, there have been so many people who've made whole YouTube videos just off of his content. And as a result of these hating females, I predict that his message will spread even further. And I'm hoping that the red pill community ramps up at, I would say, at least tenfold. At least tenfold, and they can blame themselves for this, you know, for this despicable behavior from these black females. And it's amazing if some female died, and imagine if some female died out there and a bunch of black men were celebrating her death, there'll be an outcry. But anyway, you know, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. You know, I hope you did enough to, when you stand before Christ, he'll tell you, well done, good and faithful servant. And I'm hoping that I'm doing the same thing. And if I see you on the other side, I never met you. I never met him. But if I were to see him, I can give him a handshake for what he was trying to do for black people. And what he did, what he was doing, and really the red pill community, honestly, for black people, is really on par with the civil rights movement. Because the civil rights movement got black people got us into first class citizenship. Now the red pill community is trying to get us into reality. It's just simple as that. Anyway, y'all, that's my 2 cents on it. Like I said, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, and my condolences to his family. And as always, y'all, until next time.